What Happened This Week podcast. Just two best friends chatting in the trailer about all the things you are thinking about. Because you never know with Kim and Tricia.
Straight out of the trailer. So this week, we're actually in my trailer.
I know, we're up in your hood. We got rats.
You got rats. Oh, damn, our studio's got rats.
That's what Grampy says. One big 12-pound rat got y'all scared off.
Them suckers multiply by like 12 in like a day. I mean, they really do. I mean, you got to be careful, and they eat through anything.
They do. They can fit through like any hole.
Well, I think that rats are very well known to go into RVs and campers because at the laundromat here locally in the RV park, there's a sign that says no, like big boxes are allowed in the trash, no pet, poop, and no rats.
Gotcha.
So, and it's written in.
Oh.
So I'm assuming rats like campers.
Yeah, because they must throw them away in there.
Exactly, because some of these folks, I think, leave their campers here like all year round, and they like snowbirds, right? Because there's a few that are closed up, and then they're never there, and I think that the rats probably go in there and hang out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is probably the fourth time we've had them in the camper, but we're in the farms, and so it's I mean, rats. I mean, I remember when I first moved out, living in the actual trailer. They say that they come to dog food, and that once they come in, they're pretty much infested. I called like a trapper, and there was like, you have to literally put mouse traps up. It took me almost 6 months to get rid of them. And I think they came before because of the pig feed.
Exactly.
And now, did I tell you that time I found one in my townhouse?
No.
Like when I lived alone before I met Jason. I went to go get dog food for Brody, and it was under the sink, and I was like, it's super weird. There's a hole, like, in the side of the bag. I was like, And then I found, like, droppings.
Oh, no.
And I was terrified. I set, like, traps, like, all throughout, like, my living room and stuff, like, regular traps with peanut butter on them. Mm-hmm. And that sucker every night. No, and it'd eat the peanut butter and did to set off the trap, but it wouldn't be in there. So that's how I knew there was something there. And so I finally got them sticky pads, and every morning I'd come down the stairs to check to see if I got anything. It was terrifying, The
anxiety of that.
Yeah, so it's like, come down, and I hear, and it was in the thing under the stairs. It was down there on the sticky pad. It was like, it's still alive. It was stuck to the pad. Oh, my God. And then, so I got rid of that one, and then I could hear them, like, in my attic. 4 in my attic on them sticky pads. And they were coming in, like, the roof vent. So I had to put, like, a screen up there to stop them in that vent. They were climbing up the trees next to the townhouse, jumping on the roofs and coming in.
Oh, they're crafty.
Oh, my God. It was probably the worst experience. I was like, what if they come running across my forehead in the middle of the night or something?
And you don't know. Yeah, and you're, like, sleeping with one eye open. We had that in our attic at the other house. We had that, and you could hear at night, like you could hear the trap, like got another one. You could hear the James would go up there. We had a bucket full. I mean, it was horrendous. I mean, and James had to go and spray that foam stuff that closes things up, because any nook and cranny where you don't think they can get through, they can get through. So
crazy.
So we'll have to we'll have to use this as our temporary recording studio for now.
Speaking of which, did anybody miss us or realize we weren't on the air?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Nobody said anything.
No.
So maybe it was just like a mystery, like, are they coming back on? I will say I did have a conversation, shout out to Noah. It's interesting when you chat with people who say, oh, we listen to the podcast, people that you never would have expected. So shout out to Noah. Like, he pretty much can quote everything that we're talking about. So he'll appreciate the shout out for today.
Maybe he'll realize we were on hiatus for 2 weeks.
He probably will. I'm waiting for the call. Like, where have you been?
Not a nothing. Not a be like, hey, I can't find your podcast this week. From nobody. But I will say, I have started to travel a little bit in the field, and so I'm starting to listen to podcasts again. And I will say, like, the ones that are that I subscribe to, which you have to subscribe to our podcast in order to get the next download. So I'm going to think people just haven't subscribed, but they just forget about it, right? Right.
But I've noticed a lot of the other ones, like Crime Junkies, which shout out to that because I love that podcast. They are only releasing like one every month now. So
no, there were a bunch. I listened to a bunch this week, girl.
Well, were they download though? Have you just not listened to them?
No, because it said like the date.
Oh, okay. Well,
she
maybe
told me that, and I was like, okay, well, good. I haven't missed any. Then I went, and there were like 6.
Really?
All the way up until this last Monday.
Then maybe I listened to all of them. But I have noticed like Dateline, 48 Hours, a lot of those.
Exactly.
So they're still slow to come out. So
Yeah.
we're not the only one. We're taking a summer break, you know.
Hiatus.
And you actually had a baby, so
Yeah.
you know we're allowed to take that break, and that way you know you can kind of get into a routine with
Right.
Grady. Speaking of Grady, how's he doing? Is he walking yet?
Yeah, no. He's doing good. He slept Friday night. He slept 7 hours.
Really?
Yep.
He's like the chillest baby ever.
He is. He's very chill.
You got blessed with the third one.
Yes. Well, and I got my bassinet.
Your bougie bassinet.
Yeah. See, he was worth every cent. 7 hours. Kim.
Have you written them a review?
I put him on Insta.
That's right, you
And
did.
They put my story on their story.
That's right. That's right. You're bougie famous with the bassinet.
I am. See.
Well, I mean, I will give it credit. I mean, you do need to get your sleep, especially with a 16-year-old and a toddler running around.
Oh gosh, yes, exactly. Yeah, Reagan's got this thing where she thinks there's monsters in her room.
Really?
I told her Daddy threw the monsters in the trash because she said Daddy put the monsters in timeout, and I thought, well, if they're in timeout, they can come back. So they're in the trash.
Well, she doesn't have like a light or anything in her room that she can see shadows, possibly.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Because she got a new nightlight, and she was telling Mimi that was the monster, and it's the shadow from the ceiling fan light.
Because I remember when Taylor was a baby, I used to play like Mozart for her, whatever. I read that somewhere, so I used to put it on the CD player, but it had a light on there. And once she was, I guess, old enough to see it or realize it, same thing. Like she said, there were monsters, and somebody said, "Is there a shadow?"
Yep.
Sure enough. I mean, they're creative in their imagination
Yeah.
to begin with, you know. So that's probably why she made that connection.
Yes. And so I tried to turn the light off. She's like, "No, Mommy, leave the light on." Like,
Oh,
no, but
poor
it's the shadow, baby.
Poor baby.
You know.
Aw.
So she sleeps like under her covers. Like she puts it over her head. Like.
My gosh.
Yes.
Poor baby.
Yeah, she was up at so Grady woke up this morning at 3:30 to eat, and then Reagan was up at 5 crying.
Oh my gosh.
Jason went in there, and then she was up again at 6, and I went in there then 6:45. So
And that's all on a weekend.
all in one day. It's man, I'm gonna need a nap this afternoon.
Damn, I think it's bad when the dogs are crying and want to go potty.
Exactly. See.
I play dead though. I really do. I do. I'm like, I'm too tired. Jaden gets up early anyway, so it's kind of like his gig, or I guess. They probably think that he's the only one that walks the dogs, because he's pretty good about getting up and walking the dogs. Past couple of nights, James has been sleeping in Taylor's bed, and the girls and me sleeping in our bed.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's it's quite hilarious. I will have to say I had a conversation with somebody in the camper park, RV park, and I'm a little distraught. James and I were still looking for a house.
Right.
James has a wish list. It has to be, a multi-million-dollar home for $200,000.
Right.
We're still looking for those.
Yeah, so they haven't found it yet?
We haven't found it yet.
No.
Yeah. It's crazy because Shannon's been really patient with us. God, I mean, she was on vacation. I'm like, we want to go see this one, and she hooked it up and let us go see. She probably thinks we're the worst customers ever, and it sucks because we're friends too. So I know she probably, she's doing such a great job for us, and she probably is like, they're great friends, but I know she's not. But I know
think there's an issue with she has a bunch of people who are buyers right now.
She told me
there's
that.
no inventory.
Yeah, and I was funny. I was talking to someone else yesterday. I ran into my Publix, and they've been looking for a year in Martin County and decided to build in Port St. Lucie, and same thing. I mean, the inventory is just really low, and that's why things are gobbling up so much. So we're waiting. It's kind of like I'm not even looking anymore to see what's out there hitting the market, and just kind of waiting for the bubble to pop. And then, from what I'm told, a couple people have actually told me that they're doing now, loans, interest rates are now at 3%, all-time low, right? And then they're actually doing a stated income verification. You don't even have to prove that you make this anymore, that it's just a stated affidavit. So they're giving loans just based off what you say you make, which happened in 07 and 08, which is where then everything crashed in the foreclosures. So maybe that's the writing on the wall. So, I'm like, all right, chillax, Kim. I don't want to be here for Christmas, but I think if we're going to be, where would I put a Christmas tree in here? I was thinking about that.
I'll get you a little one.
One of them little tabletop ones.
Yeah.
My dog would eat it because the dog can sit here.
We'll hang it. We'll hang one.
Yes.
And the dogs can't get it.
No.
We'll hang it that way.
And there's no place to put presents, so no Christmas presents this year.
You just saved a ton of money.
I love it. Good idea. So we have
your daughter, her life just got better. No
Got
presents
really-
now, Mom, because we're living in a trailer.
Great. So we have a stray cat that runs around the camper park,
gosh.
right? So her belly looks really full. So James is like, she's going to have kittens. Well, sure enough, she had kittens. And the woman behind us in her camper, she's been feeding this cat. And so the other day she was outside looking for him. And I've never met her. And so James is like, I think, the cat went that way because she was she even, like, trapped him and took him to the vet. I would never trap a stray cat and take it to the vet.
Well, if you're going to trap it and take it to the vet, have it fixed.
Well, it was pregnant.
Well, I mean, now.
But now, yeah, she said that's what she wants to do, is she wants to go and get him fixed. So we were just chatting it up. You know how long she's been living in this RV park?
I don't know.
7 damn years. 7 years, like a 7-year itch. Like, I told James, I'm like, I'll be damned if we're going to live in this camper for 7 years. That's like people get divorced after 7 years, that 7-year itch. And I'm like, her kids are 19 and 21. Which tells me that they've been living, and they don't have bedrooms, like a door.
Right.
And it's a boy and a girl. So that means that they were there, 13, 14 years old? If not younger?
12 and 14.
I mean, and they're still living there, so I guess it's not too bad, right? Because
they don't mind it, and they're grown. They can go somewhere else.
She's like, they've got jobs. They come back here. So she's like, we're thinking about moving into a home. And I'm like, well, you're picking the wrong damn time to, because there's no inventory, so you're better off just staying here. They've rode out hurricanes here. Oh, God. And that brings up another point. There's like 3 or 4 storms out there.
I know.
I don't know what we're going to do. Like, we have to obviously ratchet strap the camper down, right?
Yeah, hunker down.
I think it's just riding it out.
Well, why wouldn't you probably just hook it up? Why don't you take it to James's parents and put it next to the house and then...
Well, that's what he had done before when it was at their house.
Yeah.
So that may be something that we do. We may just do that. I just don't know where we're going to go. I told James we'll just haul butt over to, like, the West Coast. Because most of the time with hotels, they open it up to be pet friendly. So it's like, I'm sitting there looking at that. I'm like, normally I'd be like, oh, a hurricane, get prepared. Like, I don't even think about it,
Yeah, like, it's not happening this year.
It's not going to happen. It's all good. It's like, what would you pack? Like, that's a little nerve-wracking.
Why don't you just take your house with you?
Well, that's the bonus, right? You can just hook up and then just haul butt.
And just go. You don't even need to get a hotel. You just stay at a service station and then let the storm pass and drive back home.
That is true.
And you don't have to worry about any of it.
None of that. Did I tell you about the when we had to pay our bill, the rent here?
Yes.
This is the craziest thing. I don't think I mentioned it yet on the podcast.
Did you get another bill yet? Because another month has come by, right?
No, I have to ask for it. So, typically, when you stay somewhere, they bill you. So it's like 5 days into the month, and I'm like, well, geez, we haven't gotten a bill yet. But drop it off at my doorstep, email, whatever. Something, nothing. So I saw the lot lord, is what I call him, and I'm like, hey, do you have the right email address? Could you send me my lot rent for the month? And he goes, oh no, you have to ask me for the bill. I don't want to work as much as I have to. I'm like, well, first of all, you work Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays 9 to 2.
Okay.
Or no, 9 to noon. Okay, he adjusted his hours according to the paper on the wall.
Does he own the place?
No.
Okay.
He doesn't. He just runs the place.
Right. Okay. Well, he probably gets free rent.
Oh, he definitely gets free rent, and he's in he's in a concrete building, so I know where he's staying for the hurricane.
Actually, we can bunk up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the shower house, which is straight up concrete, that is our when a tornado, that's a safe room. Yeah, yeah, we play in that. We had a family meeting about that.
Had a family meeting.
We had a family because it's about a 500 feet that way. Just haul ass, right? Every man for himself.
Y'all like Twister running over there.
Something. It's just insane. So definitely, that was just really strange with the lot. So I guess every month now I have to email him or text him my credit card information, and he'll take care of it. Strangest thing ever. Then I met my neighbors next door. Mm-hmm. Super cool people. They're actually sitting here for another 2 weeks, and then they man the gate at Corbett for hunting season.
Okay.
They're they call them, and I get this right, work campers. That's a term, work campers. She gave me an entire magazine. Bella ate the damn thing, but I had it. Mm-hmm. But it's underground world of people that actually go to parks. Army Corps of Engineers has a huge, all throughout the U.S., parks like Corbett, where you can bring your camper and you get to stay for free hookup, and you man the gate. or you clean the wash houses, or you do whatever. And so it's like a trade-off, right? You know, like a bartering kind of thing. Sometimes, they've been doing it for 3 years, sometimes depending on and they are only required to work 24 hours a week each. So that's not too bad, you know? And if they work over that, some of the parks will pay them, like minimum wage. But they're getting a lot rent for free. So it's kind of like a no-brainer, I guess. But they at Corbett, they actually have a refrigerator, they have like a whole setup, and then they have a pad that the person can stay at. So that's what they're waiting to do, which I thought was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that people actually do that.
We see that at the KOA when we go up to Cherokee.
Okay.
There's some of the people there that, like, clean the bathrooms and whatnot.
Well, I've, you know, been part of all these RV groups now on Facebook to try to, like, you know, get with my peoples. And a lot of those people have, that's what they do. They require background checks, of obviously, and things like that. But, and then when I was in that one of those groups the other day, I read an article that the RV sales have gone up by 60%.
I can see that.
Because no one can travel.
We don't fly.
Exactly. So people are like, you know, and you think social distancing, Yosemite, right? National parks, go and do that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, you know, so we got lucky with this spot, you know, I guess a lot of the places. So my concern is, if that's the case, a lot of RV parks might be booked for hurricanes, but I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll you know, we'll figure it out.
You just pull into a rest area. You just had to sleep for the day.
Yeah, and then just come right back. Yeah.
So what else is going on? So my arthritis.
Oh yeah, how's your arthritis going?
Still got it. Like today, I'm super swollen. Like I can't wear my engagement ring, all of my wedding ring, and even right now, like, it won't come off. So some days,
butter, lotion.
Yeah, like some days it's like I got it on. It was on a better day. It went on.
Right.
But so you see the rheumatologist, not this week, but next week.
Okay.
So, but
so they might have to start giving you some type of infusions, possibly.
Something, I don't know. It might
steroids.
I saw my OB this past week, and he was telling me, I guess some kind of arthritis medicine like helps with COVID.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, no kidding. I was like, just go ahead and give me that then, you know?
I'll be damned.
I was like, we'd be rationing it off in our family. Like, sorry, Tricia, that you got arthritis, but we got to survive the COVID.
This COVID thing is just,
crazy.
Isn't it out of control? Like, I'm over it. And I'm over watching, you know, I'm not a very political person. I kind of just, I'm neutral when it comes to stuff. But I watch Governor DeSantis come on, like, almost every day. And I feel like he's, you know, either we're being lied to about the numbers, because I just read today that we supersede New York now with the most cases. But yet he's on the TV, it's fine, everybody's going back to school, let's just be life as usual.
I don't know, it's tough. It's definitely a tough place to, you know, to try to figure out, like, if the kid, you know, going back to school, is it safe for them to be in school? Is it safe for them to come home to us after they've been in school? Because, like they say, it doesn't affect, like, the kids are better. Well, that's fine, but we have older kids, so where does that change? Like, when does it go? Because our kids are almost 17.
Right.
So are we at a different time? Like, should they not be sending high schoolers back, just sending the little kids back?
And, you know, the other concern is that you don't know what those little kids have come in contact. You don't know if they live with older parents or where those parents have been. You know, you just don't know. And so there's that unknown of what they're being exposed to, you know, and teachers as well. You know, they're being exposed. You know, I know that this, you know, virtual learning is not ideal. I mean, I know that, especially for the younger kids, they need structure, you know, and I mean, I know that I was talking to someone who shows, I guess, there's three, well, depending on the county, but some counties have the three options: full-time in school, virtual school, or a hybrid. So you go to school 2 days a week, and then the other 3 is virtual. I'm like, how do you do that with a 7-year-old? I mean, structure is important, right? Like Mondays, like they're not, like you and I could be Mondays and Wednesdays we do this. But a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, their time, their sense of time is out the window. So I don't know how you would even, teachers, that would be, God bless the teachers, because if that's what they're having to adapt to, can you imagine?
No. And I was like, so part of me says, like, hopefully we'll have a vaccine beginning of the year, right? And then things can start to get back to normal, right? So Gavin, Taylor, they're not going to die, and their education, their livelihood is not going to be ruined by 6 months of school being a weird way, or even school not even starting for 6 months. Like, they're not going to be devastated by this.
Whacked out, right?
You know, their whole lives won't be ruined because of it. But I was talking to somebody else, and a doctor friend and asked them, are you sending your kids back to school? Like, that's how I want to know, like, how do you feel about this? And her kids are, like, the same age as our older kids. And she was like, I kind of left it up to them, you know. But we were talking about, like, because, you know, our kids go to South Fork, and, like, one of the hot spots is Indiantown. And that was my concern, that the kids from Indiantown go to South Fork as well, and that's a hot spot in our county.
Right.
And she said, yeah, and she made a good point that her concern with them not going back is some of those that are in, you know, migrant farm worker families, they're going to work right now with their parents. And if school goes virtual, their parents might say, oh, well, you need to come to work still. And they may never finish school.
Right.
And I was like, I never thought about that. And, like, for those poor families, like those kids.
Right.
That, you know, are out helping their families survive financially and not understanding the importance of virtual school, still school.
Right.
You know.
That's a good point. I didn't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that piece of it. And really, you know, if the school district is giving you options, right, which there are, I think that it's your family's choice. It's your, you know, some people are COVID what? You know, they don't care. No social distancing what? You know, I mean, some people are not, you know, either they're over it, and I get it, because, you know, initially we were all scared to death. You know, some people still are scared to death. You know, there's a lot of unknown. There's some things that we do know, you know, and so I get it. So I think it's, at least you have choices, right? And so it's what you think is best for your family, you know, and as well as for the child, but your family, right? Your environment of what you live in. So I'm just ready for it to be over with.
Oh my gosh. I
mean, 2021, come on, let's just bring it on. I mean, I heard Kanye West, I can't even say his name right, is running for president. I'm just like, are you kidding me? I'm like, so over it. Over it. I don't get it.
Yep, so next year will be a good one, though. So we hopefully will have a big announcement at some point here. We're working on some stuff together, you and I.
We are.
So we're hoping that, you know, in January of 2020 we launched this.
Yes, we did.
So hopefully January 21 we got something else we're going to launch.
Look at that. We actually can work with each other long enough to say, okay, let's commit to something else.
Exactly.
You know, we had to take a couple breaks. It wasn't because we had to take a break from each other. We still got to chat and stuff like that.
Exactly. So hopefully we're always working on stuff.
Yeah.
So this will hopefully be something big for us.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so we're also working on our new adventure of some weight loss.
Girl, I just took one of my phentermine pills today. Yeah. Actually, I was on Facebook and I noticed there was an ad saying for weight loss. She's a nurse practitioner in Palm City. And so I'm like, sign me up. So I went and seen her. So I got a prescription. She did, like, you know, a workup on me. So I got a prescription. It's supposed to curb your appetite. And it actually helps me focus. But I do split it in half, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, just so I can, like, when I start feeling hungry in the afternoon, I'll take the other half. You know, you can take the full in the morning. Because I'm too fat for this camper. I'm cramping. My butt can't fit on the toilet all the way. Like, the seat's this small and my butt's this wide. You know, so, yeah, you know, my knees, because there's a lot of elevation as you go through their steps, right? My knees can only take so much, so... Yeah, so I think we're going to have to buckle down. Now, so we're talking about doing a challenge, you and I. Okay, so are we going to, like, I think we should do it, when do you want to start? Do you want to start tomorrow?
Yeah, we're starting
tomorrow. You have to
tomorrow.
meal prep. I'm meal prepping. You see that Tupperware?
Yeah.
That's full of chicken. I'm putting that on the grill tonight.
Oh, girl, I went grocery shopping last night. I got my meals already planned. My meals, my snacks, and my lunches all planned out. Because if I don't plan it out, then it just goes... And I end up with chicken pot pie and biscuits. So
you're right, or McDonald's or whatever. Exactly.
Pizza, because it's always easy to order pizza.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I need to lose about 30 pounds.
30 pounds. Okay. So why don't we're gonna have to, like, so when we come back, we'll do weigh-ins.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if I can put I don't even care. I'll put my weight out there on the podcast. I mean, I have at other places, you know.
Right. I mean, like, we could do pounds lost. We don't have, if you want, instead of like, you know, whatever. I mean,
okay, we'll just say how much weight.
I mean, I will say that I obviously just had this baby, and I gained quite a bit of weight, and I was at 185 pounds when I gave birth.
Okay. You didn't look 185.
Well, I had a lot of fluid.
From the back, you didn't.
No, and I was like, man, I couldn't believe it.
You rocked it.
I remember I got to the doctor, like, the last time, I was like, man, 185, I never saw this coming, you know?
Well, I'm over that.
You know, I'm just saying, like, I was never, like, I was like, okay, whatever, and then I've lost 30 pounds.
Okay, we'll see. So you're almost halfway
Yes.
there.
But then I plateaued. Like, I lost,
yeah.
and so now it's like, all right, I've got to do something to lose the weight now, not just have this baby. So.
Exactly.
I did put on a pair of jeans, my regular jeans the other day.
Yeah.
I had on my maternity jeans, and Grady pooped on me. Like, pooped through his diaper.
No.
And so I was like, everything else was dirty. I guess I could have put on leggings, but anyway, I was like, all right, let me try these jeans. They got on.
Nice.
I mean,
it was
a
stretch.
I didn't like pop a button and like kill somebody, but and I wouldn't lift my shirt up. You see, it's all a muffin top coming out, but I got them on.
That's good. Well, let's set a date. So let's do, like, today's the 26th, right? So it's on a Sunday. So do you want to do, like, because you're saying 30 pounds. 30 pounds in 30 days is, like, impossible. Do you want to do, like a 90-day challenge?
Yeah, I was thinking like 6 weeks. I should be able to lose it in 6 weeks, right? How many days are in?
Well, I'm on a diet pill, like a controlled substance, which it's actually in the meth family. Yes. But it's prescribed, okay, and I'm not overdoing it, okay. With that being said, I'm supposed to lose an average of 5 to 10 pounds a month.
Okay.
So how about we do like a 90-day challenge? I mean, I like the way you're reaching for the stars, but let's be realistic.
That's true. I mean, with my arthritis, the working out part is really tough for me.
Right, and you don't, and whatever they give you medication-wise, like if it's a steroid or whatever they give you, may have a side effect.
Oh, I better not make me gain weight. I'll be in pain before I do that.
Should be another research. Hold on, I need to read the side effects. Exactly. Diarrhea, that's okay. Yeah. Cramps, that's okay. Loss of appetite, that's okay. Oh, I'm going to eat extra? No, that's not okay.
Eat it
Next, you better put me on something else. So I say let's do a 90-day challenge, and I say we'll do a weigh-in every week and just see how much we've lost, and so that would really put us in, August, September, so that would put us towards the end of October.
Okay. So
Halloweeny.
Oh, girl, and we're gonna get sexy Halloween costumes.
Oh, we can. What are you gonna be for Halloween?
We talked about our family being the Incredibles, so I gotta fit in that leotard.
You better run home when you leave here.
Because I'm sure, like, the women's leotard is very flattering, and the men's probably comes with the built-in muscles.
Of course.
You know, and, like...
Jeez, that's funny. I didn't even think about that. With her in her leotard. Yeah, you better start running home now if you're going to get in that. But you got goals. I like it. You should go and buy the costume now.
Yeah.
And then just see how far you can pull it up as you're in every week. That'll be your, like, weight loss goal.
I started thinking, too, like, at what point do you think these Pelotons are going to hit the marketplace on Facebook for sale?
Oh, I know. I know people that have them.
Buy it.
Yes. Half off. Because what are they, like, $5,000?
They're like, I think they're like $2,500.
$2,500 or something. They were giving away one at work. They did, like, a raffle, and so I did, but I don't know where the hell I'd put it. I mean,
me neither. Because get one now. I saw Jason's like, we'll just put it in the middle of the living room. My mom and dad won't notice.
Yeah, they would. You can put it in the baby gate. You can put it right next to the bassinet or next to Charlotte, and just, this is my exercising room inside of the gate. Don't mind me.
I figure maybe by the time my house is done and we're going to set up our study as a workout room.
That's perfect.
People will be dumping those things.
They will be, I imagine. Yeah, definitely. I have to tell you something funny. Last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I never thought I would be that dog mom, but I took my dog to doggy daycare.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, where did you take it?
This is hilarious. So it's Paws for Play, which is here in Tequesta. It's right off US 1. It was fairly quick to get there. So we took Bella to the vet, made sure her stones are still gone, so I got her all checked up, and we initially wanted we want a boarder because we want to maybe get out of here for like a weekend. And Holler we can't board, but my sister can watch Holler because Holler's just Holler.
Yes.
But Bella, she needs to really get interaction, and especially being in here, she's an outside dog. Like, she would stay out all day outside the house. So I said, James, we really need to get our doggy daycare. Let her go and exercise and run and play. So I got her all signed up. I took her there. She wasn't a big fan of it initially. On the leash, she was like growling at other dogs. But once we took her off the leash, she was just like, she met a French bulldog. She had the time of her life. Aww. And they had like a little dog room. And they had like a big dog room, and then they had like an outside area, but it was raining. So they had like a little, bunk beds. I mean, she just had a heyday, right? So I was a little nervous. I felt like a mom dropping off her baby, like you dropping off Grady or Reagan for the first time. I had dropped off Taylor. Like, oh my God, my poor baby. But they always do better when you're not around, right? So I dropped her off. I was a little like, she'll have fun. That's fine. So Taylor and I had went to shopping, went to Target or whatever. So I sent James to go pick her up. So James goes and picks her up. Now, granted, they close at 3. So James is like, I'll leave here at 2.
At 3? Like, what
9. They're open like for doggy daycare on Saturdays.
Oh,
it's 9.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if you work, like, how do you get like that's? The
I
whole
wanted,
point of this.
again, that mommy mentality. Like, if something were to go wrong,
You want to be
I want to be
available
available for her because if I'm working, this is not right. So that's why we tried out on a Saturday, and I think weekday they're like 7 to 7.
Okay.
And they do boarding there too. So I thought if she liked it there, she could do the boarding thing there. Just graduate her into it. Yeah. So James is like, well, I'll leave here at 2:30 to go get her. He's picking her up right at 3. Like, we're getting our money's worth, right? So he gets there, and Bella is sitting behind the counter with the lady. She's the only dog left. Like,
I've been there for daycare before too.
I know, right? And it's like every, like, what is it? If you go over the timeline, it's like a dollar a minute or something. So she was probably like, where in the heck is this dog owner? And come on a Saturday? Like, I can leave. So, anyways, and James gets there, and he hadn't been there, right? So he was like, he calls me like, where did you have me pick up my dog? Like, she was like sitting in this office by herself. I'm like, do you think I just dropped her off at 9 o'clock to some random lady to sit behind the desk all day?
Get your paperwork done.
He was like, he was like, I don't know if I like this place. I'm like, well, did you go look in the back? He didn't even see like the doggy area, so he was a very protective dad, And I'm like, I didn't just drop her off at some random office. There's this huge big dog ranch out in Loxahatchee, and it's a rescue. Yeah. Well, he said, can we take her there? I said, one, if we take her, I think we have to leave her because it's a rescue ranch. I don't think it's a daycare. And it's like Loxahatchee. That's like an hour away. But that place they had their own pools. I mean, I want to stay there,
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't know. So now we're on the hunt for another doggy daycare. Four Seasons out there off Jack James. Yes. Okay, so I've learned my lesson. I'm going to have to allow James to tour the place before we sign our dog up.
Does your vet board?
They do, but they gave us a tour and just wasn't a fan of it because they're all in cages, and James likes them, and it's a very narrow, opened area, and I think they just take them out just to go potty, not an actual daycare. And I just wanted Bella to holler at her last. I just need her to get some exercise,
Because we boarded our vet, but it is like that too. But I think like during the week, when they're all there in the office, like they'll bring Charlotte out. Yeah, she's a good dog, and she smiles at everybody. But on the weekends, like they just have somebody that comes, and Charlotte doesn't seem to mind it. No. I mean, I didn't ask her. No, she didn't tell me, but
she's smiling at you when
when I pick her up, she's so excited.
Yeah. So. Well, I was trying to find something that Bella could get just get that energy out, and then I thought, well, great, if they board, it's like a win-win. She knows them, they know her, and do it a day. If I had to board, we could board her at the vet. I'm not worried about that, but I just want her to get some exercise. So the first season, they'll come pick up your dog.
They have like a limo.
They have a limo, so I inquired. They're not doing tours right now in person because of COVID. But it's $60 a day, where the other one was $30, and they have different suites. Oh. So it starts at $60 and it goes up to $90 a day, and depending on the kind of suite you want, like they have TV suites, they have, I don't know, like a meditating suite. Like I'm just like, really? No. I'm like, no. I'm already like one of those dog moms taking their dog to doggy daycare. Yeah. I am not going to be that bougie.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely make fun of you. You made fun of my bassinet. You're spending $90 a day for your dog.
You do that. James was like, maybe we can bring them both. I'm like, I did the math. Yeah. $90 a day, or even $30 a day times 2. Yeah. 7 days a week or 5 days a week. I'm like, that's how much childcare is. I'm like,
it's a dog.
It's a dog. They'll get over it. They're fine. So I was going to take her yesterday, but James was home, and so I decided not to take her to doggy daycare. But yeah, that was an experience. And James just thought we were dropping off our dog to some random place.
And that lady, she was probably giving James a dirty look when he walked in the door.
Oh, you know she was.
You've been that mom that picked Taylor up.
Heck yeah, I have. Many a times. Like, where have you been? I could have been, she's probably on a Saturday, like, especially, she's probably had a date or something to go to. So it's funny, whenever I went to Sebring this past we actually had a ribbon cutting at work, and it worked out really well. It was a very modified ribbon cutting. It was a very unique ribbon cutting. But I was super excited because I got to stay in a hotel room the night before. Girl, this hotel room in Sebring at the Marriott. You know, I stayed at a Marriott. You know I had to get a Marriott bed.
You had to get them points.
Get that points and that Marriott bed.
Oh, yeah.
I've been begging for a Marriott bed. You know, anything. The room was 3 times bigger than my camper. I FaceTime James and I FaceTime Taylor. I'm like, check this. It had 2 TVs. Had a TV because it was like an apartment, kind of like a resident, you know, just to live in. It had a balcony.
It had a big shower.
I just sat there and I watched TVs. I watched both TVs at the same time. I was like, what's over here? What's over here? Oh my gosh! I'm like, I gotta do this more often. So I have been, and I was gonna talk with you guys maybe with something we could try to plan to do. So we want to get out of here for a weekend, just something but dog friendly. So we're thinking about doing like an Airbnb, and just in the immediate area, right? Just doing it with a pool. It has to have a pool, and it has to be dog friendly, so that we can let the dogs. So I don't have to bring them to doggy
well,
daycare.
unless you find a daycare you enjoy.
Like, exactly.
That you trust.
But then I'm like, price-wise, because Airbnbs aren't cheap. So I figured if we do an Airbnb, it would be in the immediate area. And we'll have you guys come over and we can barbecue and
it might be tough to find one for your dog, so you might work on daycare first.
I have found a few that are pet-friendly.
Okay.
But, I mean, when I do my filter search, it definitely narrows down. So there is, and they want to know what the breed is and all of that stuff.
Well, my birthday's coming up.
That's right. It is coming up.
We could celebrate our birthdays.
We could celebrate our birthdays.
You got shafted on your birthday.
I got shafted on my birthday. Yeah, we could do that.
We should do a birthday party for everybody.
Right, for the entire year.
Everyone got shafted. Like,
I know.
Jason's birthday.
And you got shafted for the baby shower.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You still, I mean, like a baby shower and a birthday.
My baby's going to run out of clothes.
He's going to run out of clothes soon. You have to just recycle and wash.
No, I mean, like, our girlfriend gave me all, like, those baby clothes, and, so, problem is my babies are bigger, so, like, my baby's going to start catching up to hers.
That's
so
right.
So I won't get her hand-me-downs because they'll be the same size.
Well, we'll have to, can you do, like, a year later baby shower? Or, like, a 6-month baby shower?
Exactly.
You know, once this whole COVID thing is over. Well, maybe we'll try to plan for something like that. So I just thought, you know, something for them, because I've looked, you know, in a couple of hotels. It defeats the purpose of going to a hotel that's pet-friendly.
Right.
That Hutchinson Island Shores is actually pet-friendly. They let you bring your animals in there. But it defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do. We want something with a yard.
Yeah.
That's fenced in. So, you know, I'm, like, zooming in, looking at their house, and they're quite expensive, but their people are still, you know, they're renting out their homes and stuff.
Right.
So some are, like, in the heart of Port St. Lucie. Like, no, I'm really wanting something like a getaway, an Oasis getaway, you know? So I have been looking for something like that. So just something quick and easy.
Yeah.
You know, just to get out of here for, like, a weekend or something. You know, something different, change of scenery, I guess, you know?
Yes. I have to make sure my baby's sleeping 7 or 8 hours every night.
Just bring the bougie bassinet. Boy, we can put that sucker anywhere. Does it fold up easily?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's like the size of this table and it's rigid. Like,
okay.
And then the legs attach, but this is still...
Gotcha. It's kind of bulky and all of that.
Because I thought about that because they were all like, oh, we should have gone to Cherokee. And I was like, well, I'm not going anywhere without this bassinet. And
no.
You know what? Sorry, you don't get to bring clothes because we're bringing this bassinet.
Strap that sucker to the roof.
Exactly. That was the best purchase I made.
That's good.
We had to buy a new sock, the outlet sock, because our one we had for Reagan, so it's a sock that goes on the foot. Like,
okay.
It says sock, but it like goes like wraps around, but it tells you heart rate and oxygen levels. Best peace of mind ever.
Do you put that on Grady as well?
Well, yeah, Reagan doesn't wear it anymore
Okay.
because once like she was like 2,
okay.
we stopped wearing it. But yeah, so we bought a new one for Grady because Reagan's wasn't working. But it's pricey. Don't get me wrong. Just like the bassinet was pricey. The outlet's like $2.99.
Okay.
Oh my god, the best peace of mind ever on the planet. Like if his oxygen levels drop below like 80%, an alarm goes off. His heart rate.
Is it on your phone?
It's on my phone. It's got a little thing in our room that goes blaring. It just makes you feel better because I mean before when we were trying to get the old one to work before we bought the new one, I mean I'd wake up in a panic because he hadn't woken up.
Right.
And I'm like, he should have woken up by now, you know. And so it's awesome.
And what's crazy is that 20 years ago they didn't have stuff like this.
No.
How did we survive?
I don't know, but I mean it just gives me peace of mind. It's worth every cent. I always tell Jason, like, I mean we'll go to dinner and spend over $100. Like if we can't spend $300 for this peace of mind,
right?
then, you know.
Especially when you're sleeping, and like you said, like, because he's sleeping so well, and initially they don't, right? That's what happens, and so, you know, oh my gosh, like, I remember the first time Taylor slept 6 hours straight, like, I woke up in a panic, like, that's not normal.
Exactly.
You know, at that age, so that's good, though.
He's a snorter, too. Like, as he starts waking up, he's like,
oh, yeah?
It sounds like there's a hog in the bedroom.
Is he a snorer, too?
Yes.
He's a cuddler and a snorer.
We have to put saline drops, like, in his nose, because he gets, like, congested, so I wonder if he's got, like, a deviated septum or something like that.
Maybe I should put that on James's nose to keep him from snoring.
I tell you what, I mean,
does it work?
Well, I mean, like, it clears him up,
yeah.
And then Jason snores, you know, and I'm just like, gosh.
Just get used to it after a while,
but
right?
Jason tells me I snore.
Oh, you snore? I know I snore.
Well, I mean, like, especially pregnant, I think I snore a lot more than I do. I know that from my sisters telling me I'm a heavy breather. And so, if I've been drinking, I'm sure I snore a lot, or when I was pregnant. So,
and I think with me especially, like, I know I'm a snorer, but when I'm heavier, I snore loud more.
I mean, there's been times I've woke myself up from snoring.
Oh, yeah. Or I can tell I've snored really loud because what is that, your ubula, I think, in the back? When you see on the cartoons, that little piece there. I know people that have surgery on that to help with their snoring.
Okay.
I could tell because it feels, like, really rough.
Gotcha.
Like I've had a rough night of snoring. It's usually after a night of drinking.
Yes.
Which, speaking of drinking, I've tried something new recently.
Okay.
Monkey in Paradise.
I think I've heard of it.
It's a vodka. It's actually made in West Palm, locally. So we just tried to switch it up a little bit because you know Tito's, like, whatever. So it's almost the same price as Tito's, and it's smooth. Actually, I tried it at Danielle's house, and so it was pretty good. It went down smooth. It's like, I think it's distilled like 10 times more than Tito's. I don't know. So I just like to say, hey, give me some monkey. Instead of saying Tito. So so we had gotten some monkey, so not too bad.
Well, we're starting this eating better on Monday, and I think I'm gonna try to find a workout that like is like dance, like hip hop or something, because that would be easy. I can't I try to do yoga, like people are like, oh, yoga should be good, like you have arthritis. Everything is like a plank position or like downward dog. Like my arthritis is bad in my hands and in my feet, and it was just hurt way too much. So yoga's out. But I can kind of dance, you know. So I'm thinking.
We were talking about trying to find a hit. Well, we did Zumba. Remember that? That didn't. that was a trial period that ended real freaking quick. Thank God it was free.
Still.
No, hell no. But a hip hop.
Yeah.
I would totally do a hip hop.
Me too.
I mean, I know I can't dance, but you and I would get on the dance floor.
Exactly.
We get that old 90s stuff on. If we could find like an actual class.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe with COVID or not. That would be kind of fun.
I think they have it on the Peloton app.
Do they? Okay.
I'm gonna call Shannon. And ask her, because they have the Peloton.
Well, I still have my boot camp.
Membership.
Membership that's actually supposed to renew this week or next month. So
it's been a year.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Well, I guess so, because I wasn't pregnant.
That's right, when you did it. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's great, but I haven't been back. I haven't gone back. And, because I mean, I don't know with COVID. I don't know. I mean,
it is kind of weird. Like, it's a lot of fluids going everywhere in there.
Yeah. I almost got up this morning early to go for a bike ride, but last weekend I was have a great intentions. Like, I'm gonna seize the day.
Yeah.
5 a.m. I'm gonna get up and get all my crap done. Well, I did go for a bike ride over to the beach by myself because James was working. Girl, I about died. I almost.
It was hot out.
When I got up to the top of the bridge, I had to sit there for 5 minutes. I wonder if the bridge attendant was making fun of me. Because I feel like I was gonna die. Probably watches people try to truck it up.
Here, we got another one.
Got another one. I'm gonna die. So I'm like, gosh. And then I got to the beach, and then I thought I saw Rob's car there fishing. So I walked the way the hell out to the other side of the beach, thinking I'd just chat and say hi, because I was really petrified to do that hike back. It wasn't him. I was like, hey, and I was like, oh gosh. So then I had to. But I mean, I definitely got my. Walking in the sand in tennis shoes sucks. I'll tell you that. But
we went for a walk Thursday night, and I was gonna take the baby. Jason was like, I'm just making dinner, leave the baby. I was like, okay. And we had Reagan, and I was walking. Jason was gonna run, and I was like, well, I'm gonna start now, because he had to get Reagan in the stroller and everything. I was like, I'll start now, catch up with me. And it took him a while, and then I was like, okay, maybe I can make it to I can run to this driveway. And by run, let's it was a faster walk, okay? Right. And so then eventually Jason caught up with me, and he stayed with me, and we get to the end of the street, and we turn around and come back. You cannot see Citrus Boulevard and Moore Street because it's pouring down there. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was an avid runner for 10 years now. And then in high school, I ran cross country. So I've been running for a long time. This is the first time I've ever gotten caught in a rainstorm. Crazy enough in Florida.
Right.
But the first time, because I'm usually much smarter to check the weather.
Right.
It did not look like it was going to rain. I mean, the sun was still shining as the storm was coming through. It was like, you know, an afternoon, Florida, whatever. And so I can't run, you know.
Right.
And so I'm like, Jason, just go. Like, take her and go. And so, like, he's running, and I'm, like, behind it. All of a sudden, you see Mimi's car come flying out of the driveway towards us, and it was Grampy.
Oh, wow.
And he came and picked Reagan up. And, I mean, I could have gotten in the car, but it wasn't thundering and lightning. And I was like, at this point, like, I'm already wet. What difference does it make? So Jason and I, with the stroller, made it back home in the rain.
Oh, my God.
And Reagan, they drive back by us because I had to turn around, and she's sitting in Grampy's lap. Like, you know, they're driving. This is on our street.
Yeah.
She's like, hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy. I try.
Aww. Well, that worked out, though.
Yeah.
At least you ate for effort, though, to try to go out there and,
It's a mile and a half.
It's so hot.
It is hot.
Like that, especially like that like, even like we cook on the Blackstone a lot out in the patio. And I usually like to try to get dinner done maybe 5 or 6, depending on the day. But we can't start cooking till like 7.
Yeah.
Because it's so wicked hot out there. So like that afternoon, it's like stifling out there.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I try to like thinking like, again, I always have good intentions for my day. Like I'm going to bed at night and I'm going to conquer the world tomorrow, right?
Damn right.
And then it's like, man, I was like, okay, well maybe Grady and I will go for a walk, but he like takes up another bottle usually like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and he sleeps till like 10:30, 11. Well, then by the time he gets up and he eats another bottle and gets changed, it's pretty darn hot. I don't want to be putting him in the stroller in his seat and he has a fan, like we put the fan on him, but it's so hot out there at that time.
It is.
And then like he wants me to hold him, and then that's the one thing like I like to multitask and get things done.
Right.
You can't do that when you hold a baby.
No. What about getting one of those
swaddlers? Yeah, I have one of those things.
Backpacks you can put them in front of you.
Yeah, I need to try that again with him. He didn't care for it. He just wants me to sit on the couch and he just lay on me.
He's always a cuddler. And
like, but for me, I'm thinking I should just stop and relax in the moment. Because again, this is not going to ever happen again.
I know.
But I'm like, man, the laundry needs to be done. I cut the vegetables for dinner, you know.
Well, that's just the multitasker in you. And I remember somebody telling me, years ago, if you don't do anything, the mess can wait. Just spend time with your baby. And you hear it, and you know at the same time, you still got stuff to do. Because if you ain't doing it, it ain't getting done.
Exactly.
That's just how it goes.
Exactly.
So I totally get that. That's all right, though. I think, if you just, you didn't like it, at least he's still next to you.
Yeah.
Or he's cuddling next to you, so kind of try to, you can put him in there and you guys can hip hop together, jumping up and down. I don't know how healthy or how good that is for a newborn, but hey, why not?
I was throwing out a little, gangster rap at him. I think it'll be fine.
He might like that. Is he ready for a bouncy chair yet? No. I guess he's not ready for that.
No, he's gotten much bigger. Like I couldn't believe how much bigger he's gotten, and just already he's only 6 weeks. It just seems like he's I don't know.
I know. I saw the picture on Facebook. I can't believe how much he looks like Reagan. And
I didn't see it until I took that picture.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I guess, he looks like your dad then. It's like Daddy. So,
oh my gosh. You can see Reagan all over in his face.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's been great chatting with you.
I know.
I feel like we've had a couple of weeks worth of goodness going on and madness and all that fun stuff.
Exactly. Next week we'll have stories of our diet.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do our weigh-in.
Has to keep us accountable. We're accountable to each other. We're accountable to the listeners.
That's
I want to see what's going on because your meatless thing didn't last long.
I always wake up with the good intentions. As it goes back to. I just need to be more realistic.
Yeah.
And know what works for me.
Yes.
It's a grilled chicken, and to eat chicken, I've got salad. That's realistic.
Yes.
If I have to eat the same thing, I don't like to make up new recipes.
Right.
I don't like to, because I just don't have the time, because then there's a lot of energy that I feel like I don't have into it. So for that reason, I just kind of need to stick with what I know and just eat less.
Yeah.
That's just really what it boils down to.
Exactly.
And eat healthy.
Exactly.
So all right, guys, well, thanks so much for joining us this week, and we'll come at you next week. Stay tuned. Bye.